Just stop overthinking stuff. Just stop. Stop.
Making progress, staying on point with something, and every time I overthink something, I think that might be one of the worst things you can do. But the few times that I've managed to just, I did what I wanted to do, you know, I spent my time the way I wanted to, and it always went the best when I wasn't overthinking it. I just wanted to do something, and so I did it. I didn't put a ton of time into planning and going over every little detail. It was just like this one big thing just seemed so obvious, and so I would do it. And it, like I said, it wasn't just it's not because I was doing something very off the cuff. I mean, it wasn't just like out of nowhere I decided to do this thing. It might have been something that, oh, you know, I'd like to do that. I'd like to get into that. And, you know, I'd sort of tell myself that for like a year or however long. And then, yeah, when I stopped worrying about that, when I just, I don't want to say I dove right in, but I just decided I was gonna let it be easy. I wasn't gonna nitpick every little thing, and I would just kind of focus on that, and the other stuff I stopped worrying about. And I can't say that that's my mindset right now. I wish it was. I'm just there's other things. There's a few things I feel like I'm juggling, which is fine. It's not like, you know, it's not like the carefree, just focusing on one thing that you're not overthinking. I don't think that's the only viable, you know, route. But I sure remember it felt pretty good. It felt good. I remember I'd go to lunch with my friend or something, and you know, he was just, I guess, the way most people are in general. But I mean, even the way I was for a long time, just always worrying about every little thing, and I'd sort of just gotten over that. I didn't really, it wasn't a need of mine that I had to have all these little things resolved or worked out. And as I've said before, and I'm going to continue saying it, talking always seemed to make things worse. And I know some people, they just like to talk, and I think like with some guys it's not so much of an issue. They're just big talkers. It doesn't really do them as much detriment as the people that I have in mind. Because some people, they take it way too far, and they just want to analyze every little you know, axis point of every interaction. You know, what someone's tone meant, what their inflection meant. You know, why did they say it like that? No, but the way they said it. And all those things are actually, they need to be taken into consideration sometimes, but most of the time I don't think so. Most of the time, you know, the simplest explanation, as they say, is usually the correct one. And so yeah, I'm definitely I would like to find my way back there, because it was a good way to live, where you manage to just it's like you uncare about all the little annoying, irritating inconveniences that, you know, the rest of the world just, that it's almost like it lets them dominate their days, and it's exhausting. It's really really exhausting. And I just remember, you know, I could really think clearly when I wasn't worrying about all that extraneous noise. Things seemed clearer, and you know, the world didn't have such a bleak shade to it as it does when every little problem has to be resolved, and how are we going to fix it, and I don't know how we're ever going to get out of this, and this just, you know, insert whatever conversations you generally have, they're all along the same lines. And but yeah, I think overthinking stuff is one of the ways we really just get in our own way, because I don't think things are as complex as we make them out to be. You know, not everything is world politics and conspiracies and big government and big business and, you know, this donor and that PAC and, you know, this. Most people's lives, the way I see it, they're so simple. They just, I don't know why we get caught up in all these intricate theoretical debates that really have nothing to do with almost anyone. It's almost just for the sake of television or for the sake of ratings. So yeah, just, that's about all I can say. I don't even know. Yeah, just overthinking stuff. It'll get you in trouble. And I'm not even talking about with girls and things like that. I stopped having those conversations altogether. Someone would ask me how it went, and I would sort of just say it started here, it ended here. Well, yeah, but, and I wouldn't even get into it, because half the time you think something she said or something she did can be extrapolated to some larger meaning. Maybe it can be. I don't really want to spend the time wondering about whether or not that's what actually happened. I didn't even want to have the discussion. And I think for a lot of people, even like the people that I consider close friends, I don't know if they would admit, but I think it was definitely a form of entertainment. Not that I'm saying that they're bad people because of it. Because I think it's a natural thing. You want to find out, hey, bro, what happened? Like, I get it. And it is kind of entertaining to a point. For me, after so many, it just became annoying, because, you know, you talk to your buddy for like an hour about how things went, whether it's whatever, a girl or something else you're doing in your life or whatever, and the analyzing, that takes however long. You're at lunch for an hour or maybe longer, whatever, and then it's like the rest of the day is devoted to that too, and that's all you end up doing is wondering. And then I don't know, I think it's a little juvenile past a certain age. I don't mean to sound condescending, I don't mean to sound condescending. I'm not trying to say like, oh, if you do that, you're immature, grow up. That's not what I'm saying. But that's kind of, to me, it was like, I have so many other things that I would rather devote my mental energy to, that this is dumb. And so I really, anytime I sense anyone is trying to overanalyze, I try to shut it down really, really fast. And I don't try to, you know, I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to just say abruptly like, yeah, like, dude, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm not going to say that. I don't want to be curt or it's kind of insensitive. I don't want to be like that to anyone, even if it's like my buddy at the gym or whoever. I just I know some people think that that's how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to, you know, establish your boundaries and no, I don't fuck with that. But I think you should treat people a little better. And even if they start going on about some stuff like that and you don't want to hear it, I mean, usually I'll hear them out, and then if they ask me, I'll try to just reduce it to the simplest thing I can. Not because I'm intentionally trying to end that particular conversation, but I do kind of want to instill, like, I kind of want to condition it so that they know that when they ask me, I'm probably not gonna, if it's something dumb, if it's something small, you know, if someone has a real problem, then I'm gonna hear them out, and I'll try to offer what I can, which probably isn't gonna be much. But if it's something dumb, I'll just say, yeah, you know, I think if you think about it, it's probably just this, right? You know, I'll just kind of wrap it up and summarize it. And I think that's usually what most of these complaints and discussions and stuff, I think that's kind of what they can be condensed down to. There's really not that much to talk about most of the time. It's just the truth. And could it be my disdain for talking? Yeah, I guess it could be. I'm not a fan. I'd rather not talk given the opportunity. But yeah, I definitely don't overthink stuff anymore like I used to. No, I did not see someone that I know. I just be polite to those people that are on the side of the road selling flowers or, you know, fruit or whatever. These people in traffic. I don't understand why people need to be rude to these people. They're just trying to sell stuff. I mean, maybe it's because that's what I do. I got stuff to sell too that a lot of people aren't gonna want. I'm trying to find a buyer just like anyone else. But yeah, I don't want to be rude to these people. I don't just ignore them. Homeless people, even, you know, walking around with a cardboard sign. I'm gonna acknowledge them. I don't usually give them anything. I don't, just because I don't know, the documentaries where you see people begging for money and then they get into their car or whatever. I guess I'm a little, what's the word, cynical. I don't want to be like that, but I am. I just, a lot of times I think. Anyways, the point is, I don't just ignore them, but, you know, I'll acknowledge them and I'll shake my head no, looking at them. I think it's just a courtesy. It might be a pointless one, but I don't know. I can remember when I wasn't that far from homelessness. I mean, I've never been evicted or anything, but homelessness, I don't know. I was not that far away from being homeless. I mean, I think, especially in Hollywood, it could just be here, but I think most people, they're not that far. I mean, homelessness, it doesn't take much. I mean, you miss rent a couple times and then, you know, shit, that's it. It doesn't take much. I don't know. Once I realized that I could be there quicker than I realized, you know, if I made the right mistakes. I guess I fell for him a little more, knowing that I could very well end up there, you know, in any number of circumstances. So yeah, I don't think they're bad people just because they're out there. But at the same time, I don't really know how to help them. I don't usually give them money. Sometimes I'll give them food if I have it, slice of pizza or something. Otherwise, yeah. Anywho, getting off on a tangent. Don't overthink stuff. I'm not saying make impetuous decisions, but given the if those were your only two options, to overthink something or to act impetuously and to have to do something just randomly, I'd probably opt for that one. Because at least in that one, at least in that scenario, you're doing stuff. You're doing something. It might be really dumb. You know, it might be a horrible idea, and you might get laughed at hysterically. But at least you did something. And then, you know, you pick something else. And the way I see it, I mean, you can't, I think it would be pretty hard to continually make nothing but bad calls. Like in poker, even if you're a bad player, I think it's pretty hard to lose 10 times in a row. If you lose 10 sessions in a row, like there's that line from Molly's Game, like it's a statistic with that Bad Brad scene where she's telling him, hey, I don't think you should play this game. You've lost, I think it's 10 times in a row. She says that's a statistical anomaly. Like it shouldn't happen. That's kind of the way I see it too. As long as you're out here doing stuff and taking action in some form or another, you're not going to strike out every time. It's like you almost can't. At some point, you're gonna get a hit. You know, you're gonna get a single or a double or something. So stop overthinking stuff and subscribe.